Welcome to tonight's webinar, everybody. Really excited to present to you tonight our pre-launch of EzyWebinarPRO. It's been about 3 years in the making, so tonight is a huge night for me to be able to be so excited to be able to present this to you. A little bit about myself. A lot of people on the call tonight know me personally, a lot of people don't, and we are recording this, so there'll be a replay available, so no doubt over time, the people that don't know me personally, I'm actually a stay-at-home dad, work-from-home dad. So, yep, I work from home, but we are a decent-sized business. We have we just put another guy on the weekend, 7 full-time staff around the world that we're all working remotely in different time zones and so forth to be able to work together. I said I work from home. I'm a single dad with awesome 3-year-old twins. Yep. I don't need to work out. I just chase the twins around all day. So 3-year-old twins living in Thailand. So no excuses, guys. If you all say you're too busy, you're too this, you're too that, to everything else, BS. Right? Try having 3-year-old twins and looking after them as being a single dad in a foreign country and trying to build a business and everything as well. Let me just show you a couple of pics here so you can relate to that. There's... Denise, can you see that? Did that overlay my the picture on the top? No, because I haven't got screen sharing on yet. Okay, just bear with me a sec. I'm going to share my screen. Sorry guys, I should have done that from the beginning. Bear with me just a moment. Got the kids pics, fantastic. So that's Jaden and Kalani, that was yesterday. Right now we are on the 3rd day of Kalpansar. Kalpansar is the beginning of the Buddhist Lent. Buddhist Lent goes for 3 months where there's no drinking alcohol for 3 months. So 3 months of no drinking alcohol supposedly, and everything else that gets associated with that. But we had a great day yesterday celebrating the start of Kalpansar. So today is actually a holiday here in Thailand, and so the kids aren't in school. I said to you before that they're only 3 years of age, but in Thailand we have absolutely awesome preschools. Do you see the second photo? Can anybody put anything in the chat box for me? Can you see the second photo of Jaden and Kalani in their formal school uniform? Okay, great. I'm just getting a reconnecting issue here. Okay, we should be back on again just in a moment. One of the great things is that when you do have a connection issue, it will start again. Right now being a public holiday, and so now being 5:21 p.m, we've got so many people now coming home all checking their internet and so on. Let me see if I can get the second one up. Bear with me a sec. Okay, can I just get a couple of people to put a comment in the chat section? Am I back live again now? Can you see my screen? Okay, Adrian, fantastic buddy, thank you mate. Okay, so today, as I was just alluding to you, is a holiday, so it is a public holiday, so I can almost guarantee you, with being a stay-at-home, work-from-home dad, that we are going to get a couple of interruptions. So if you hear some noises in the background, or if I have to say, hang fire for 2 minutes, guys, while I go and put out a war between these two angels, then hang in there with me while I do that. And really, that's one of the great things about internet marketing. Right, is it gives me the freedom to be able to run my business and get my business to work around my life instead of me having to juggle my life around my work. I can work and live on my own terms, so then I can be the best possible dad to my gorgeous kids. So guys, my kids is my why. Why am I building this business? Why am I working 1 million hours and so forth over the last few years to get all this created for you? Because of these little guys, right, for their futures and so on. So I guess you've got to ask yourself as well, what's your why? Why you're all involved in internet marketing of some kind, whether you've got an online or an offline business and you want to be able to build your business further and so on. But why? That's what we really have to focus on, guys. For our success, we need to focus on our why. So what is your why? Is it to be able to have more time with your family? Is it to be able to earn an extra income? So many times where we have spouses, one spouse works full-time, the other one stays home, looks after the kids, yada, 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 yada. Both spouses work, do a little bit of extra as well. What is your why? What about to create a nomadic lifestyle and travel the world with a laptop? Is that your why? Could that be something you could aim for? Living here in fantastic Chiang Mai in Thailand, I see so many what we call digital nomads that come and go all the time. People traveling the world with a laptop. And that's one of the cool things that we can do with internet marketing, is that have a laptop, have internet, can be virtually anywhere on the planet. And as you can see with the great connection that we've got here tonight, even in Thailand we have awesome internet. And we also have a lot of clients that are retirees, which is really cool because retirees, it gives them another interest. They've had their job, they've had their business and so forth, and they go to retire, sit on the porch with the rocking chair, right, keep the grey matter turning over. Internet marketing works fantastic for them, and it can also give them a bit of extra money or a lot of extra money to fund their retirement. Now, webinars can really boost your online marketing and can even boost a lot of offline businesses too, by enabling you to be able to present in bulk to your clients and your prospects. Your clients and prospects love webinars too, as they can see your presentation from the comfort of their own environment without having to travel to your office, or without you traveling to them, or without them traveling to your seminar or conference and so on. Now, convenience, guys, is a massive impact, all right? A massive impact on people's lives, and that's what webinars are all about. Sometimes people are too busy to travel, and we don't need to today. On tonight's webinar, I'm in Thailand. We've got a lot of people in Australia. We've got a good friend of mine in KL, in Malaysia. We've got people in the US and so forth. So we're all around the world, but we could almost be living next door to each other. So let's now get into a demonstration, and I'll teach you step by step how quick and easy it is to be able to create a webinar. When we first log into EzyMarketer, it'll go to our actual dashboard, and then you'll have a pop-up, and the pop-up tells you some latest news about what's happened with EzyMarketer. And as we can see here now, the pop-up is for the EzyWebinarPRO. So after you've read the pop-up, if you don't want this to come up anymore, you just click on the I've noticed button on the left-hand side and then click on Close. So we go over here to Web Meetings. Now, as we can see on the screen, we're in pre-launch right now. So everybody has a free beta account for 30 days. On the left-hand side is our Easy Web Meetings. Our brand new Web Meetings is going to be launched shortly, so you're able to still use our existing one for the time being. And on the right, you can see that we have EzyWebinarPRO. So up on the top, you've got a choice of Web Meetings or Webinars. The difference between web meetings and webinars is that on a webinar, people actually have to register for your webinar. On a web meeting, you just simply create a meeting and send a link to people to join instantly. So that's for something quick to happen. A webinar also has built-in autoresponders, so it can follow up and keep reminding your people about your webinar that's coming up. A lot of times people might book it a week in advance or something, and then they can have several emails going out prior to the webinar starting, while a web meeting is something that you might do right now or something for tomorrow, where you could be saying to your team, okay guys, 8 a.m. tomorrow we're going to have a team meeting. Here's the link, see you there at 8 o'clock. And they just click on the link and it goes straight to the web meeting. So to set up a webinar, we click on Webinars. We can see here that tonight's registration, when this first started, we had 16 people on board on the call here. We can see that I've got 2 completed webinars from before, where we had 31 people, and then we had 3 while we're doing a test there. And it's so easy to do, guys. We can see here that there are 6 steps. So there are 6 simple steps to be able to create your webinar. So let's create one right now. So create a webinar. We're going to name it. So this name is for your own reference, because if you ever want to go back and go and edit anything before your webinar starts, you can go back and edit it. So you might have several webinars all ganged up for in the future. Well, it's best to name it to make it applicable. So I could call this Monday test. No, I've done that before. Monday nights pre-launch. Okay, enter the host name, so you would enter your own name there, or if you're setting it up for somebody else to host it for you, you put their name. So I'm going to put Rob Wilson in there. And when's the webinar going to start? Well, I'm going to choose the day. I'm going to set this one up for Wednesday. And what time? I'm going to set that up for 8. Okay, I can click on the 10 there and change that to 8. And change this back to 0, so, and then change it to PM, and then you select the time zone. So whatever time zone in the world that you're in, that you're going to be running the webinar on. So if we did like we normally do here, 8 o'clock on a 8 o'clock on Sydney, Australia time, we click on that. Now sometimes a little quirky thing that can happen, a little tip here, is sometimes that can go and change the time. As we can see, it just changed to 8:30. All right, so what we can do is just go back and click on that again. That is a little quirky thing that's happening. The team are aware of it, and that will be fixed up shortly. So just be aware of it yourself to go and double check the time. So we go back here now, and I'm going to make it the 12th. All right, do you see how it changed the time and everything on there? So little tip, pop the time zone in first, and then go and put your start in your start time and what day it's on. But again, that's going to be fixed very soon. Now we click on continue. And what that's going to do now is that is going to set up our webinar for us. So we can see now we've got 2 webinars here. I've got Monday nights pre-launch, which I've just created, and it's ready to go for 12 July at 8 PM on Eastern Australian time. No registrations yet, of course, because we haven't even put the link out yet. And if you click on the registration button there, or not the button where I can see 16, if I go and click on the 16, it will give me all the details of the people that have registered. So that's great for pre-registration. So you can go and see how many people have been registering for your webinar. When you're going in, when you're live, like now I think there's like, what is it? Let me just check. We've got 47, 48. No, now back to 47. So that's always static, not static. That changes around as people come in and off on webinars. If I refreshed all of this, which I'm not going to because I'm live now on the webinar, you'll see the other registrations and you can click on their details. At the end of the registration, you will receive a report giving you the details of the people that have registered for your webinar. So we've done step 1. Now we're going to do step 2. Step 2 is to create our registration page. That's all template driven. Very easy to do. We can see we've got 2, 4, 6 different templates on there. Right now, as we're in pre-launch, the first template is the one that we can use. The rest of them are coming soon, and that is very, very, very soon. So we can see there that they're top rate, fantastic looking templates, and you just choose the one that's going to be the most suitable to you. And then shortly we'll have another one on there too, which will be called Create Your Own. And that'll be an absolute blank screen, and you can go and put whatever elements that you want, whether it's a countdown timer, where you want your opt-in, where you want your pictures, and so forth. That'll all be integrated into our web builder software as well in the future. So tonight I'm going to click on the first one, and that's setting that up for us now and linking that all in. You can see here I've got a timer here on the top, and this is called our cityscape design. You can go and change that anywhere at all that there's text. You just click on it, and then there's a full editor. Okay, so if I want to change that to Easy Marketer, I just type over the top of it, Now I need to make that a little bit smaller because it's too long to be able to fit in that frame. That frame is going to be made bigger in the future, and so I just need to go and change that in there. So I can undo that. There's an undo button here at the top, and it's just undone it. If I want to change the background color, just go and make a solid color. I can go and choose that if I wish. If I want a solid blue background, I can do that. If I want to choose a color, if I've got a corporate color, you can put your color code in here and select that one. I'm going to click the back button, and that's going to undo that. And then I'm going to undo the Easy Marketer there and keep it as Cityscape. If you want to change the image that's on the background, right now we have a Cityscape image. If you want to change that, you simply click on Change Background Image. And as the note says here, the suggested image size is 1200 pixels wide and 474 pixels deep. Now somewhere around that is good. Now of course what you have to remember, if you go and put a tiny image there that's only 300 pixels wide and you're wanting it to stretch out to 1200, it's going to look very fuzzy. So always make sure you try to get your images somewhere around the suggested size. Now we're going to change the title of our webinar. So this first bit's the title. I'm just selecting that. I'm going to call this one Rob's Demo Webinar. So our description goes in the next section. Get ready to see the world's easiest webinar platform. Okay, change it to whatever you want there. Claim your spot now. Okay, change any of the text on that. Click on it, highlight it from in there. So I'm going to change that to register. Register now. I can change the color of that too, all within the editor and everything on here. On our update that we're having shortly, you'll be able to change the button color, but today we can't while we're under beta, but shortly you'll be able to change the button color there as well. We can change the background color of this strip. We've got red at the moment. We've got here that it's running for 1 hour, what time it is, when it's going to be, what you're going to learn. So you can change any of the text. Again, you just click on any of the text and you can change that. Topics that will be covered in this webinar with, okay, Rob Wilson. I want to put a space in there, and I want to put a capital for W. Whatever you wish to change. Within here, we can go and change any content at all. So again, highlight the text. Let's set this up similar to what you saw when you actually registered for this today. I'm going to type intro to EzyWebinarPRO. Let's go in here. I'm going to change this text. Rob will give you an overview of EzyWebinarPRO. Okay, so all of this text is all changeable, uppercase, lowercase, whatever you wish to do in here. Three bullet points in here with John Smith, so we're going to change that. That's not John Smith, that's me. Oops. Rob Wilson, CEO. That sounds pretty lousy. And Chief Visionary Officer. How cool's that? Pretty good title, eh? Okay, that's not me there. Wish I was looking a bit younger, but anyway, it's not me. We can change put your own image in there, or go and put a graphic in there of your business, or whatever you wish to do. Again, suggested image size. The image that I've got is not quite the right size. All right, so you're going to see in a moment as I go to import that, that's going to be a little bit fuzzy. So it is important to try to get our images looking somewhere around the correct size. So I'm going to go here to Rob's headshot. It's uploading that now. There we go. Yes, that handsome young fellow is me. If we scroll down now to the next section, we can change the background image, or we can change the background color, just the same as we did at the top. You can change any of the wording join the webinar. You could change that to join us on Monday's webinar. Whatever you wish to change in there. Now, with our opt-in box here, it's hard-coded for email address. We always need to get an email address because we've got built-in autoresponders that, of course, have got to send out our emails telling them how to connect to our webinar. So you can't deselect that, but we can deselect the other options. We've got first name, last name, and your phone number. Less is best, guys. If you don't need a person's phone number, don't ask for it. So now the phone number will not be visible on the live page. If you don't need their last name, don't ask for it. So now it's just going to be the person's first name. So I'm going to change this. Instead of claim your spot, I'm going to put register right now. And again, in a future upgrade, you'll be able to change the color of the button as well, because if you go and change the image in the background or change the background color, blue may not be applicable for there. You can go and link your terms and conditions. You can go and link your privacy policy on there as well. When you click on that, you can see there that you just go and put the URL in there of your privacy policy. So if you've got your website all created and you have a privacy policy on your website, just enter the address in there. Your terms and conditions, you can enter that in there as well. How can you do that very easily? You can do that with using our Easy Website Builder. But tonight's not about that. But had to put that plug in. All right, Easy Website Builder. Share this webinar. How about share this webinar with your team? Whatever you wish to do there. You want to change anything at all, then we've got embedded social media buttons on the bottom here, so then people will be able to share your webinar. It'll actually give the webinar link and everything across to either embedded into a Twitter, into a tweet, into a Facebook post, into an email, messenger, and so on and so on and so on. So let's go continue. So what we've done now is we've actually created our registration page. So simple, wasn't it? That took me a bit of time to do because I was talking to you, right? But after you've done it a couple of times, it's only a matter of seconds. I do strongly suggest that you get your images sorted out first, and then work out what content you're going to put on your page as well. Put it all into a Word doc or something like that and just go and cut and paste from Word. So step 3 is to create your thank you page. So the thank you page is the page that people will see after they have registered. So when they've registered to join your webinar, this page comes up. So you go and put your inspiring webinar title in here, so, or whatever note you want in here. Thank you for registering for Monday's webinar. Whatever you wish to do there. Put a description or something in there. All right. Do not miss this webinar. You will be wowed. Okay. Whatever you feel is appropriate to your webinar, you put in there. Change the background image again, change the background color, change the color of the strip in the middle here. Okay, thank you for registering for our webinar. Thank you for registering for next Monday's webinar. Same on the bottom here. You can change any of the text here at all. Now this is really cool, guys. All right, we've got a video in the middle here. You can either have a video, all right, or not have a video in there. So if I hover my mouse over, look what just happens. We can change the video. So how about having a great corporate video or your own personal video, record yourself using your phone or whatever you do for recording your videos and upload it to YouTube or Vimeo, and then we can have that video playing. It could be a personal message from you, thanking them for registering and giving them some more details about what they're going to learn on your webinar. So as we can see here, we can either change the video or remove the video. So if I change it, I can go and put a new YouTube ID in there, or I can put a Vimeo ID in there and click apply changes, and instantly it's going to change the video in there. If you don't want the video, we click on remove video. Ask you, are you sure you want to remove it? Yes, I do. Now the video is gone. If I change my mind and want to add it later, I can add it in there. All the text down the bottom here, we just highlight it and type over here. So, write some more inspirational stuff here. Okay, whatever you wish to do there. And again, here's our terms of use and here's our privacy policy. If you don't have either of those, right, one or both of those, you can click on the X and it'll delete it. So we're going to continue that now. So we've now created our thank you page. So simple to do. Now we're going to go to step 4. And step 4 is our end webinar page. Now what our end webinar page is that's the page that will display when the webinar is finished. So just like our other pages, you can change the background color, you can change the image in the background, you can change any of the text, just type over any of this. Thank you for attending our webinar. Now of course you're going to put something a lot better than that. Alright, and the same in here, down the bottom, keep an eye on your emails for next week's webinar. Okay, thank you for attending our webinar. Thank you for attending Monday's webinar. Whatever you wish to do there. Alright, please watch the video below as it contains an important message for you. Same as before, you can change the video, you can remove the video. So don't forget, if you're going to remove the video, change the text up here if you're not going to have a video in there. And then you've got all the text at the bottom. This can be as long as you wish, and you can keep typing more and more text under there. We've got our terms of use again and our privacy policy, which you can delete if you wish to do that. Now we're going to click continue. That's step 4 of 6 done. How easy is that, guys? Pretty simple, isn't it? So now we're going to go to step 5. Step 5 is really cool. Step 5 is our contact list. Now, one of the really neat features with EzyWebinarPRO is that you don't have to go out and link to an autoresponder service. You don't have to link out to another CRM because we have a built-in CRM, Easy Contact Manager. So we're going to name the contact list. Now, this contact list will capture all of the details of the people that are registering for your webinar. So I'm going to call this Monday, July 10 training webinar. Okay, from. Now the from is for the autoresponders. When the autoresponders send the emails out to people that have registered to watch your webinar, it's going to be from that name. So I'm going to put on here from EzyWebinarPRO. From email address. Now, right now the from email address is noreply@easymarketer.com. In an updated version, you're going to be able to select an email address that you already have set up within EzyMarketer. So if you host several domains with us and set up lots of different email addresses, you can have it going from any of those email addresses you've set up. So tags. So we can see here that we've got a tag for Monday night's pre-launch. You can add as many tags as you wish into here. I'm not going to go into more details about tags tonight. You can learn that by looking further into Contact Manager, but it's a great way to be able to segment your list. Now we've completed that, we've created our contact list, and that's where all of our registration details are going to go into. We now click continue. Awesome! Now we have step 6. And step 6 is autoresponders. Now this is one of the things that makes EzyWebinarPRO stand out from the crowd, is because, again, like I said before, you don't have to link to another autoresponder service. So this is going to save you a small fortune on your monthly marketing costs, because we have built-in autoresponders. And you can create unlimited autoresponders. So to create an autoresponder, we just click on Create Autoresponder. We enter the autoresponder name. That name is for your own reference, because you'll see in a moment when I create one, it'll show a list of all the different autoresponders that you've created. So name them something that you'll remember what it is, because you can go back to them in the future and tweak any of them if you see a typo or you want to add any more details to it. So I'm just going to call this one registration. And look at all the choices, guys. Right? You can create a registration email. That's what I'm going to do right now. And the registration email is the email that people receive when they register. So we can create that, then we can go back and create other autoresponders as well. What about when the webinar starts? Sending a last minute, okay guys, the webinar is starting right now, your last chance to jump on. What about another one when the webinar finishes? Thanking them for attending your webinar. If you did a call to action in your webinar because you're selling something, selling your product or services, could you put in your autoresponder confirmation again of what the deal is? Could it have a link in there linking off to your sales page? Could it have a link in there going to your payment button? Could it tell them in there that, as we said on the webinar, guys, you have 1 hour for this opportunity only. If you click on the link below in the next hour, you'll be able to capitalize on whatever deal it is. This next one's pretty cool too. Log out. In other words, if they leave early. Happens at times, guys. People drop in, people drop out of webinars. Something happens. Something happens with people's families and so forth, because a lot of times people do watch webinars at home. So if they logged out early, an autoresponder can send them an email straight away. Sorry that you missed out on the rest of our webinar, but here is a link to the replay, because we have recordings. We don't today because we're under beta, but shortly we will be having auto recordings, so then you can go and upload your recording somewhere. Well, you know where you're going to upload it, so you'll know that when you plan that in advance before you set up your webinar, so then you can go and put the link in there where they can go and watch your webinar, just like what we have with EzyMarketer. EzyMarketer, you go to the top of our website and you can see the link to watch our recorded webinars. Then the other one is Other. Now, Other is where you can select whatever you want, whatever time before the webinar. So, hypothetically, you set up your webinar 1 week in advance. You could set the webinar to go out 5 days before it starts. You might send another one 4 days before it starts, another one 3 days. You might want to drip feed some training content, getting them even more and more excited about the offer that you're going to be making on your webinar. All right. Then you could you do one 6 hours before the webinar starts? Could you do another one 1 hour before it starts? Could you do your final one, giving people 30 minutes? Last chance, guys, 30 minutes before we start. You simply enter the email subject here. I'm going to call this Easy. There we go. EzyMarketer, Newsflash, EzyWebinarPRO, webinar registration. In here is our full editor. For those of you that use our other programs like our landing page creator, that you use our contact manager to create your emails, your newsletters and so on, it's the same editor across all of our products. So you can go and insert links in there, you can go and insert images, you can make fonts bigger, smaller, change whatever colors. Personalization on the left hand side here. I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to go hi, first name. So we asked for the first name in the webinar registration. So it's going to personalize it because we have captured their details and we've stored them in our contact list. Here is the link to join the webinar. Of course, you're going to write it better than that. So this one here is the webinar link. So if we put that there, it's automatically going to embed the link for people to join your webinar. If you wanted to put the date and time of the webinar, we can just go and highlight that. Join our webinar at date and time. And then you can even put the time zone in there if you wish as well. If you're running a global business and you've got people all around the world, you can pop the time zone in there, email address and so forth on there. see you on the webinar soon. Kind regards, your name. Continue. So what that's doing, guys, is that's linking that into Contact Manager now. So now all those details are going to be, all your registration details are going to be stored inside of Contact Manager. And now we have one autoresponder already created. We can see here that this one is going to go out 30 minutes before it starts. So that is not correct. So the reason why it's not correct is because I went and selected 30 minutes before. I should have just done it as the registration to be earlier than that. But you can tweak it to whatever you wish to do, to go out immediately or at a certain time before, and so on and so on. And you can gang up as many autoresponders as you wish. Having autoresponders after your webinar is incredible. It's a great feature, because you might want to, on your webinar, you might have offered people some free training material because they attended your webinar. What if you drip fed that training material to them? Every day for the next 30 days, they might get an email from you with some tips and tricks about your business or what you're teaching people. You can create them in as an autoresponder, set it and forget it, and it's delivered to your clients or your prospects. What if you had follow-ups for your call to action and so forth in there? It's unlimited. Unlimited autoresponders. It's only limited to your imagination. So now I'm going to click on Finish. It's going back to our main dashboard now, and as we can see here, the whole 6 steps are now blue. That means that we have done those. If any of those steps are black, it means that we haven't completed that yet. If you ever wish to go and change anything in the future before your webinar starts, you can go and click on any of these elements here and go and make any tweaks or changes to that. Now, a really neat thing on the far right hand side is our actions. The first one is a link, and the second one is the play button. Now, why do we have 2 links, black and a blue, and why do we have two play buttons, black and a blue? Trash can, well, of course, that means to delete what you've just created there. The reason why we have the 2 is that if you want to have a quick webinar, so you want people to be able to go just straight to the link and just go in without registering, you can go and click on that. You'll then get a pop-up, and we can see there now that that's going to give you the registration link. You can copy that. Now, people don't need to actually register. What they'll do with that is, let me close that. I'll show you that on another screen. So if I put that link in there, okay, we can just go straight in and register now. Then we have the play button, and then the register for an actual webinar. So on the webinar, they go through the full registration. It has the autoresponders and so forth that are associated with the webinar. So then when it comes time to start your webinar, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the start time, right, you can just go and click on the play button. Now, it's going to depend on whether you're doing it as a web meeting or a webinar. This is what we're doing right now to enable you to do web meetings using our new platform. In other words, a quick way to get people onto your webinar. Shortly, when we do upgrade our web meeting software using the same platform as our EzyWebinarPRO, the first 2 links will disappear. This is what we're doing right now as a quick fix to enable you to be able to get people to have a quick meeting with you instead of going through the entire registration process and everything with them. You do need to set the webinar up. So what I suggest to do with that, if you're doing it as a meeting, is that you don't customize any of the pages. You just click on step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, and just click finish, finish, finish on each of those steps. So you've set up your meeting in, 30 seconds. So that's it, guys. That's how simple it is to go and create a webinar with EzyWebinarPRO. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing of your success.